Hello and a very good morning to you. Thank you for joining me live on What Med Media. I'm Dr. Kish and on the 21st of October, I thought I would go through some of the COVID headlines for you. Basically, it's all from Sky News. You'll be able to watch all of them over on the What Med Media YouTube channel that I talk about. The clips are going up, but I think it's a really important day of news. So I thought before the workday starts proper, I would chat to you guys. So 9 people watching already. Thanks so much for joining. 14 numbers going up brilliantly. If you could like, share, comment, I would really appreciate it, because it would just help get it to more people. Over the last 30 days, we've got to 1.8 million people collectively on What Med Media. Isn't that amazing? And how useful could that be in terms of the fight against COVID-19? So, the first point that I would say is, does anyone else have a feeling of deja vu? Because I do. And I'll tell you what, good morning, Elspeth, because when I saw Belgium being touted as another almost canary in the mine, as another Lombardy, because remember what happened in March in Lombardy when we had pictures of an Italian healthcare system that were inundated with patients that were unwell, and we were told, oh yeah, but it's a healthcare system that's not that great. That's a lie. It was a brilliant healthcare system, and the OECD rated it as one of the best in the world. 2 weeks later, we were in a similar situation, right? So 37 people watching. Please share. Please, if you hit share, if you keep on pressing like, if you keep on pressing comment, that would be really help me. I've got to go at 9, yeah, make the most of it while I'm here, basically. So the first thing I saw is the thing about Belgium, in terms of Belgium was held up as a model that the UK should be following and should be doing and should be using. But unfortunately, they've hit troubled times. And Michelle Clifford did an excellent piece, an absolutely excellent piece in the hospitals in Belgium, where she is talking to doctors who are essentially saying they don't want to be in a situation, in a position where they make a decision as who's going to live and who's going to die, right? It's pretty grim. I'm not going to pretend that it's not, but we need to take this virus seriously. We need to do the hands, face, space, but also we need to think about fetish, as Dr. Phil Hammond has said, which I've borrowed from him, which is obviously find. No, I can't. I've put it on the post and I can't remember it. I didn't plan to say this, so I can't remember that bit. But think fetish and also hands, face, space, because it breaks down in terms of like find, explain. Here we go: test, trace, isolate, and home visit. Maybe I think that doesn't quite make fetish, doesn't it? But anyway, so that's the Michelle Clifford in Belgium. That's the first piece. And then there was a quite extraordinary interview on Kay Burley's show this morning with Lisa Nandy. Absolute class act. Shadow Foreign Secretary spilling the beans on what it's like in terms of what are these cabinet calls or calls with certain members of the cabinet were. She wasn't particularly complimentary of Matt Hancock, and if you go over to the What Med Media YouTube channel, you'll be able to see that interview in its entirety, and I think it's really important that you do go over and see that. Then also she was talking about how Andy Burnham is very, I shouldn't laugh because it's fair enough, I thought he's come across very well in the media, but when you watch the video you will understand why I'm laughing, in the sense that there we go, that's it, Jean, pretty much. Fine. No, well, yeah, it's something like that. I've complicated the message, unfortunately, which everything has had to be a 3-word slogan. I think we actually, I think people can, maybe not remember it, as I can't remember what all the fetish stuff is. Hey, Kirsty, morning. All right, I need to catch up with you later. I will give you a buzz, not even might give you a buzz. 72 people watching, brilliant. See if we can get it to 100 before 9 o'clock. Keep sharing, keep liking, keep commenting. Nice stream of likes going on the side would be great. It wouldn't be a bad way to start my day. So anyway, Lisa Nandy, really good interview, spilling the beans on what it's like, what some of the discussions have been between, the threats between Greater Manchester going into a tier 3 lockdown. There was a little bit of unfortunate language on a tweet where she said something about essentially the government is waging war on its citizens, especially given the news coming out of Nigeria overnight where their security forces were starting, killing their own citizens, essentially. So that bit was a bit unfortunate. But apart from that tweet, look at the interview on Sky News. Really, really interesting to watch. That's on What Med Media. There was also a very interesting package about how some of the most vulnerable in society are hit the hardest by this. I think it was, I want to say Rotherham, but I don't think it was. It was in Greater Manchester. And again, I've got the clip. I'm going to put it on What Med Media, or get it, I'm not, but I'm going to get it put on What Med Media on the YouTube channel so you can watch that. And then I can't remember what else I was going to say. I've run out. I'm done. So thanks very much for joining. Just to update the 67 people that are watching, we've reached 1.8 million people with our content so far. I know I've been quiet because I'm, I think, day 36 or 37 post a cycling injury where I essentially had a unplanned dismount from my bike. It was good. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm really grateful that I'm alive, first of all. But also I was cycling, did 131 kilometres. On the Friday I did 145, I think, my record. But unfortunately, came off the bike, hit my head, got the air ambulance out, who thankfully didn't have to intubate me, but were there because they were worried about me. And then I spent some period in hospital, the other side of the doctor-patient dynamic. In other words, a fall. Yeah, I fell off my bike, do you know, yeah. But it's kind of like, I prefer to see it as an uncontrolled, unplanned dismount. So yeah, that's why I've been quiet in terms of doing these videos. I've always said to you that I will pop up when there's interesting news and there's good news. And I think looking at the story in Belgium, looking at the farcical way that it is panning out in Greater Manchester, I thought it was a great opportunity to come back to you and chat to you and let you know. And I hope you guys are well where you are, because I'll be honest with you, it would not surprise me in a couple of weeks if we don't get this circuit breaker lockdown. And if Boris U-turns, I think it should be celebrated, right? Because Sage has given him advice, the government advice, in terms of they needed a circuit breaker lockdown, and they suggested that 2 weeks ago. Now you look at what the numbers are saying and doing, and the numbers are going up, the deaths are going up, we're at danger of overwhelming the NHS if they continue going the way that they're going. While Boris gets his house in order, ultimately it comes down to personal responsibility. And that is, we socially distance, we isolate if we have symptoms, if we're unwell, or if we're told to isolate. We get the app, we wash our hands, we wear a mask in shops. It's really not that difficult. And some of the people out there that are the sort of anti-mask brigade, cheerled on by people like Majid Nawaz on LBC, just really is pathetic, really. So I don't know if you saw a couple of weekends ago, I did a little video where Majid Nawaz had somebody on LBC, some doctor, and it was I don't know what it was like. I can't think of the word. This is the head injury, but it doesn't matter. It was just a shambles, basically, in terms of all the conditions were set up to favour the presenter. They got some bod on from the BMA. I didn't quite catch his name. And he was trying his best. He was doing a good job, but he wasn't allowed to explain and articulate what he had to do to the public, right? So there was that I wanted to talk about. And then the final thing that I'm going to end on, which is the final clip that I found on the What Med page, actually. I found that when I was looking at it this morning, is I hate to criticise another doctor. And to be fair, it's only a little clip. And I think in the interest of balance, it's really important, because when Dr. Hillary smashed Piers Corbyn for just spreading absolute nonsense, I'm trying, Nina. Yeah, I need to rest more, but I'm trying. But when Piers Corbyn got smashed by, what's his name? Dr. Hillary, it was like, fair enough. Okay, let's celebrate and let's, give him profile and talk to him about that. But there's this clip doing the rounds on social media, basically, where Dr. Hillary is talking some nonsense about a mask, right? Sorry, Hillary, but if it's between the World Health Organization or... That's a good question, Sharon. I think, okay, so what's your advice on asthmatics who struggle to wear a face mask or a shield? So listen, if you have a legitimate health reason, asthma, COPD, psychological issue, claustrophobia, some kind of problem that means you can't wear a mask, then fine, of course, don't. And in the legislation, it says not to, right? What the legislation does not allow is people that are lazy, stupid, ignorant to just not do it, right? And if you look back in history in the 1918 pandemic, there are exactly the same protests and problems about people wearing masks. And, you know, I don't think they said it was an infringement on their civil liberties in that way. Talking of which, I've got Piers Morgan's book coming this morning, which was Wake Up. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that and reading that. I had to buy it. He didn't send it to me, but, you know, doesn't matter. One can hope, right? But anyway, so yeah, if you're asthmatic or you're COPD, visor and it works, that's great. Going back to that thing out of who would I want to listen to on masks, the World Health Organization or Dr. Hillary, I'm going to go with the World Health Organization on that, in the sense that you don't wear a mask to protect yourself per se. Your mask protects somebody else, right? This is a virus that is predominantly spread through, to coin a World Health Organization term, poor respiratory etiquette, i.e. coughing, sneezing, spitting, breathing all over people, essentially, right? So if you wear a mask and it's going to... That's great, Pam, well done. Not everybody can, and everybody, even you, like sometimes if you can and you can't, you know, it will change depending on what your asthma's doing, right? But anyway, you wear a mask to stop that spread, right? Predominantly it's droplet infection that this is spread by. There's an element of transmission by fomite spread, which means that if I was to sneeze on this or cough all over it and then touch it and then touch my mouth, as in, sorry, if somebody else was to sneeze on this, then I was to touch it, then I was to touch my mouth, there is an element of transmission that way. But also we need to be, that I completely agree, Nina. Also, I think we need to be completely aware of the fact that this has been isolated and it has been found, as in COVID-19, for example, in semen. There have been traces of it also in stool samples, right? And urine as well. So as we buckle up for this next lockdown, which is coming, I have no doubt, it might be called a tier 3, and it might be tier 3 all over the country. So, you know, the political powers can stick to their thing that they're not going to do a national lockdown, but it's a national lockdown in all but name only. The really important thing that you guys need to know to keep you and your family safe is Public Health England have done an amazing resource that was available right at the beginning of the pandemic, which I directed people to, which was essentially a 10-step guide on a couple of sides of A4 in terms of what to do if somebody in your house gets it. And that is quite specific. From memory, top line, it's a case of don't share a toilet, don't share a bathroom. If possible, if you have to, get the person who's sick to clean it down. Wear masks, wear gloves, use different cutlery, use different utensils, keep a bigger distance in the house, all this sort of stuff, right? So it is going to be potentially a long, cold, hard winter. But I will help as much as I can, and I will share stuff like this as often as possible. I've got to go, I'm afraid. So yeah, check out the What Med Media YouTube page. All the videos will be there. Check out the GoFundMe page that I've started. We're just crowdfunding for advert money on Facebook. That's it. I don't charge for my time. I don't charge for the data. I don't charge for the kit because I've got it all anyway, and I'm reading about this anyway. So please do that and check that out. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I really appreciate your time. Throughout the day, if you could like, comment and share, it will just help the Facebook algorithm serve this up to more people. And tag some mates in it, right? Tag some mates in it that think that you think they would like to watch it. Here we go. The words are losing me a little bit. It's not great considering it's 9 o'clock in the morning. But tag some people in it that might find this content useful, right? Because I will check in it in the day and see how it goes. And thank you very much for watching. Also, just before I go, tell me where you are in the comments after the video stops, because it will help the Facebook algorithms moving it up. and serving it up to people, and then I'll put a couple of £100 behind this video as well, just to serve up ads. So yeah, do keep chatting to each other in the comments, get to know each other, make friends with each other. Thank you so much for watching. Look after yourselves each other, and I look forward to seeing you again really, really soon. All the best. Cheers. Take care. Bye.